So I'm here with FUME from Queens, who's been doing graffiti since 1979. Of course, you did go to school in County Laois.
Yes, I did for 3 years. I got a little trouble. I shipped my ass off to Ireland for 3 years. All boys boarding school. I learned how to scrap and drink. That's about it. Now I'm only kidding. I got an education. At least I came home.
So tell us a little bit about this FUME. You were saying how it's truly a group piece as the train goes by in New York style. It's truly a group, a collective piece, this, right?
Yeah, totally. Because we got Aerosol Kings. It's Nick's crew, but we have other members in Canada, France, Germany, England, Ireland. So whenever they come into town, we try and make sure that we get to paint with the guys in our crew, and vice versa. If we ever go to Canada, then we paint when we go visit him.
Right.
And it's just nice to get out on the wall, especially coming to the Bronx and painting, you know, because this is really the one place it's cherished the most. And for us to be up here and having a good wall is fantastic, because this is what we look for, getting good spots to paint where no one busts your chops. The cops got to roll right by. It's safe, but it's still, there's an edge to it, you know, and we are in the thick of it here.
So you want to show us like your piece and what went into it?
My piece is right here. It's kind of covered by the ladder right now. It says FUME. It's a very straight, or like early 80s kind of look. Very simple style. The whole background is, and the collaboration was...
Which I like. It just gives it a real punch, that background that you did. And there's sort of a whole style just to the background too, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hems, who's doing the background now, we wanted darker colors because that's actually the way the cartoon characters in this is what we're trying to represent, that character. It's called the Wizards. It's the name of the character.
Yeah.
And he was a main character. Though he may look evil, his name is actually called Peace, and he fights for good, not bad, but he fights in hell.
And the meaning for him being here, a part of it is what?
It was an homage to Ralph Bakshi, the guy who created it. This was like one of the first real graffiti characters that graffiti artists in the 70s and 80s really grabbed a hold of and kind of tried to make our own. And then Mark Bodie and his Bodie characters became very popular. So he was right around that time period. It's kind of a forgotten part of the graffiti history from the late 70s, early 80s. And we just wanted to show a little bit of homage to them, the creators of this.
And the mushroom here, all part of that?
Yes, all part of the whole genre, the psychedelic, like late 70s era.
Right.
When everyone was doing LSD and stuff, that's when this comic...
So did the graffiti artists do a lot of LSD and mushrooms?
I didn't, but I know that in the 70s, it was just, it kind of came with the territory. I hear stories from a lot of the old writers that they partake. I've even partaken of other things.
You say that in your tie-dye shirt.
I know, far out, excellent. I'm out of my Vulcan mind, what do you want? No, yes, we've all gone through our demons. I'm glad I made it out of it.
Yeah.
And not a lot, some have, some haven't. It depends on where you're at. But
79 is a long time ago.
Yeah.
What was it like in the beginning compared to now in New
It
York?
was so much more fun. The law had more important things to do, like they should be doing now, you know? Like then we could go in the yards, we brought pizza pies, we'd bring our weed, beer, radios, and we'd hang out all night. We'd sleep in the train yard. I'd sleep for a couple hours while someone else painted, then we'd wake each other up. And then as it got old, like in 82, 83, 84, they started shutting it down. The cops were always in there. There was more of a chase, but that was the adventure of it too. To get into the yard, sneak around. You had to check for hours before you went into the yard just to find out who was around, who was watching. Was it cops? Was it another group of guys? Were they watching you to see if they could rip off your paint, beat your ass, steal your money? Or was it the Vandal Squad? You never knew. But that was the whole point of why we did it. Can I get in, can I get up, can I get out without getting caught by anybody? The cops or another crew. And every time you did it, it gave you more adventure, especially when you saw your name running the next day. It's like, yes, screw all of yous, I got over, I did what I wanted. Yeah. And I beat all of yous, not just the system, but everyone. And that's why we kind of stuck to it. And to sit at home, it's a great hobby. Some people bomb, which is definitely a part of this culture, and I like it. Bombing is one part where some guys don't artistically have the talent to do what we do, and that's not a bad thing, but they still want to be famous just like us. And we do this. And I tend to doodle in books all the time, and I'm always drawing in Friends Black books. And it's kind of like a curse. Once you find graffiti, either it gets into your soul or it doesn't. There's no like green area.
That's what I was going to ask you. You know, what is it keeps you doing it? You spent basically your entire weekend here from dusk till dawn for 2 days to do this piece. It looks incredible, but you pay for the paint, you did the time,
Yeah.
You sacrifice a lot. So what is it that makes you do this? What is it?
Just the love of the art that's the most shit on, most disrespected art in the world. Why, I don't know. Artists have died for it, and we just want to keep it alive. When someone dies for something, there's got to be a reason behind it. It's something that we love to do. It's not taught in any university. It's taught from street kid to street kid, friend to friend. It's colorful. It's a gift. It's like instead of giving you a dozen roses or a dozen assorted flowers, I'm giving you this. Same thing.
So
when
what
a bird sings in the morning, and you like the sound when a bird sings out your window in the morning, right? You don't know what it's singing, do you? So why do you like it? You don't know what it's singing. Same thing. You don't have to understand something not to like it.
Right. And what kind of feedback do you think you'll get on this? Do you think anyone will say, "Hey, man, I saw that," or it'll get posted online?
Yes, you'll get both. You'll get good and bad.
Oh yeah, what kind of bad will you get?
Well, there's people that live up around here. Oh, they suck. I'm better than them. They think they took the wall. It's the ego feed. And there are guys that are maybe more technically better than me. God bless you. Good for you.
Right.
And then there's going to be people, oh, they did a great job, and we're going to get love. I look at it this way. The more hate you get, the better off the job you're doing, because they're going to hate you for doing it. You're making them look bad, so they're going to hate on me. Yay, I still win. You know, it's all on how your perspective. But I think the community up in here pretty much likes it, because there's nothing really negative, and that's going to tend to let us live here a little bit longer on this wall. It'll run for a little while, hopefully.
Are we in Manhattan or the Bronx? I thought
we're in the Bronx.
Oh, we are? I thought it was Manhattan. Okay.
No, this is the Bronx.
Okay. Okay, so
we're on Esham and Sherman Ave.
Okay. So one last question for you. 3 decades, a long time I've been doing graffiti art in New York City. When you think back on all the places that you've done work, what was the most interesting experience of some place that you went along to do your art?
It's the train yard, without question. The train yard, or the train tunnel, was probably the most interesting. Doing layups in the train tunnels, because there was no lights, no nothing when we went in. You go through, it's probably the darkest place I've ever seen in my life. Because of the soot and stuff on these tunnel walls, some of them, it consumes light. Even with a flashlight, you can only see maybe 6 inches in front of your hand. You hear the rats running around, scurrying around. You hear the mole people, we call them, that lived in the subways. And this is all in like the late 70s, early 80s.
They don't exist anymore, right?
They don't exist anymore. But when we were around, you had to watch out, because there was little cubby holes and cubicles. I mean, there was fallout shelters in some of these old train tunnels. So to me, that was the most, because it was scary. You didn't know what you were walking into, who was around the next corner. And this, the train yard, because there's a smell and a sound that's in the train yard that you can't get anywhere else. That Cosmoline's iron dust, steel brake smell. I wish they could sell like a good pipe tobacco. You know, you get that smell. I wish I could put this in an incense, and I would have it in my house all the time. What's that smell? It's the train yard. That's what it is. But those are like my most memorable things.
And back in those days, last question, that's when you got your name, and how about exactly did it come about?
Actually, the way I got my name, I went through a bunch of names from like 79 to 81. My first train I did was in 81, because I was learning my craft and throw up letters and everything else. And someone showed me the ropes. I got my name because I used to bang on my friends' windows at 7 o'clock in the morning. Come on, I got a blunt. And they all happened to be Spanish. And they would say in Spanish, like, coño, carajo, fumando, you smoke like a chimney all the time. And that's how I got my name. I wanted a 4-letter name when everyone had 2- and 3-letter names in 79. And I was like, I need a 4-letter name. A 4-letter name is better. Everyone's got 1 and 2 letters, 3 letters. I want a 4-letter name. And we were on the train one day, and my friend, we were laughing about the morning. Oh, I smoke like a chimney, huh? And then I saw on the train, because it said no smoking in the train, no se fumar, back in the day. And that's how I got my name. My boy pointed it out, and it just stuck ever since that day. Now the letters of it stand for formed underneath Manhattan's empire. That's what the letters stand for.
Okay.
So, God bless.
Okay.
Enjoy the stuff.
Thank you, Fume.
You're welcome.